Hey everyone, it's Liz from City Green, and today we're going to be talking about flowers. You are not only going to be planting flowers in your garden today, but we're also going to be talking about why flowers are so important for butterflies, bees, birds, and us. Flowers are so cool because they support our whole community, including the birds, the animals, and the bugs. So some people wonder, if flowers don't provide us with any food, why do we plant them? First things first, flowers are super important because of this thing called pollination. Have you heard this word in school before? Pollen is that yellow, orange, or red powdery stuff that's on flowers and sometimes makes us sneeze in the spring. Long story short, pollination is when pollen is passed from one flower to the other. When this pollen is shared, the plants with the flowers can then grow fruits and seeds. Fruits for us mean more food to eat, and for plants, seeds mean that they can live on and reproduce into more plants. Some flowers pollinate themselves with the wind, but other flowers need pollinators to get pollinated. Pollinators can be bees, butterflies, birds, bats, or even flies. Let's look more closely at the anatomy of a flower so this all makes some more sense. The pollinator will land on the flower to drink nectar from the bottom of the stamen. The stamen also has lots of pollen on it, so it will get all over the bee's body. When the bee flies to the next flower, they take that pollen with them. When they arrive at the next flower, they will get that pollen on the pistil part of the new flower. When pollen moves from one stamen to another pistil, the process of pollination begins and the plant can produce fruits and seeds. When we have flowers in our gardens, especially flashy ones, it attracts pollinators to our garden. Maybe you have noticed that our fruit and veggie plants grow flowers too, like this tomato flower. Our tomato flower needs to be pollinated in order for us to get tomatoes. So when we plant big flashy flowers in our garden, it helps bring all the pollinators to our garden so that they end up pollinating our tomatoes, peppers, squash, and other veggie plants too. I know that sometimes flying insects and bees can be scary and also annoying, but did you know that 1/3 of everything we eat needs to be pollinated? That means without bees and flies and butterflies, so much of what we eat we would not have. For example, this apple flower needs to be pollinated to get apples. This strawberry flower needs to be pollinated to get strawberries. And this pepper flower needs to be pollinated to get peppers. These are the honeybee hives on the City Green farm. We love having the honeybees here on the farm because they pollinate all of our fruit and vegetable crops so that we have as much food as possible. They're also pretty great because we get honey too. So not only are flowers good for pollination, but also flowers will make our garden look especially beautiful. When you see flowers growing, how do you feel? Happy? Hopeful? Does it remind you of a person or a memory? If you plant flowers, why is it important to you? Now it's time for you to plant flowers and do your own activity. First, you're going to use the flower dissecting handout to see all the parts of the flower. You're going to take the cut flower that I gave you and try to match up the flower parts from the worksheet with the flower parts on the real flower. Once you've explored the flower, you can go into your garden if you're not there already, and you can plant some flower seedlings. So because these are seedlings, they don't have flowers on them yet. They're still little baby plants. But give them a month or two and they will grow beautiful different types of flowers. If you look at the garden layout that I gave you, you can get a sense of where some good places to plant flowers in your garden might be. You want to plant the flower seedlings the same exact way that we did our vegetable seedlings. So make sure you dig a hole that's just the size of the seedling's root ball, put it in, make sure it's standing up straight, and gently press the soil around the flower seedlings. Each flower seedling provided should be about 6 inches from the other flower seedlings. I hope you enjoy this week's garden session. Don't forget to water your garden super well, and I can't wait to see all of your flowers when they're in bloom. See you next time.